Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Mike, to tell you at the pro football camp with former St. James defensive lineman, now at LSU, Sai'vion Jones. Sai'vion, thank you so much for joining us this morning here at the camp and for giving back to the community. Because, you know, it's a big thing to go to college and everything else. You got a chance to, one day you'll play in the pros.
Right.
But to give back to the youth in this area, I think is super on your part.
Right. Yeah, it's just like a good feeling in your heart when you be able to come back to like the little small town that you're from and be able to give back to all the children.
You know, one of the things is, you know, I'm older, so I only went to 2 camps in my life, both Pete Maravich camps,
right,
when Pete was playing basketball. And I saw Pete when I walked in and when I left. You know,
right,
he never spent no time.
Right.
He never spent no time with it. He was from afar. His dad ran the camp. But to have all the high school coaches, people like you here, is a big part of why this camp has really grown from, I remember 16 years ago, we didn't have 80 people here, and now over 450 young men.
Right. Yeah, it's a good thing, especially when you got all these like people from the same area, like Mason and Kyron and them, and like how we all come from like the little river parishes, and like many people don't expect much. Like, you don't get a lot of talent coming out of small parishes like where we from. So when we like get the chance to get together and give back, it's like why not do it?
One of the things with you, I see you bigger than when I remember you at St. James. Yeah. I know you hit the weights and put a little bit of weight on. Is that something that you've tried to emphasize more in the offseason by physically getting stronger? And being more of a technician, because I think in this game you can be big and fast and strong, and that's great, but you got to know how to play the position, I think, from a technical standpoint, especially defensive line. Because most people, come on, they want to play wide receiver, defensive back. They don't want to play defensive end.
All right, yeah, that was what I prioritized when I first got out of high school. Like, from high school to where I'm at now, to put like 40 pounds on, like 280 right now, but yeah, that's been one of my main emphasis, and it still is.
Your ability to get off the snap and get a pass rush, you've always had that skill set, that, man, you can get off the line fast, you know how to use your arms and hands real well. Has it been being maybe a more stout player against the run is what you're trying to become more at LSU?
Yeah, I want to be able to, like, establish the run, because you can't get to the pass down if you can't stop the run. So, you know, especially when I'm able to put all these pounds on and still be able to keep the same speed from when I first got here. So, yeah, becoming more of a run stopper is something I got in mind.
Last year, what was amazing is to watch your teammate, Mekhi Wingo, all those snaps, playing in the middle as a nose guard. And, man, you talk about a rock. He was a rock for you guys last year.
Yeah, Mekhi Wingo, you know, not many people expect, like, he was good at Mizzou, but not many people expect him to be an All-American. And when he got here, he just saw his chance when Mason got injured. He took that as a chance, and he stepped up.
One of the things, too, is your thoughts on Mason. You know, it's tough when you play 5 snaps and then you get hurt. And rehab's lonely, you know, because you're away from your teammates, so to speak, and you're doing things on your own to get back to where you are. You've watched him in the spring and his growth as a player. Your thoughts on Mason?
Mason is a unit. I know, especially from watching him, like, just trying to get better and all that he ready to hit the field more than anybody else.
What was that feeling into the game? It didn't go well at the end with Florida State, but had Alabama at home, situation where you could have tied the game, put it in overtime, so to speak, again. And then Coach Kelly says, hey, going for 2. And hitting Mason Taylor for that 2-pointer to win the game. What was your thoughts in rolling through at that point?
I mean, I was hands down for the 2-point, for the extra 2-point instead of going for the extra overtime, and when he decided to go with it, you know, I put my trust in my teammates, and they was able to pull through.
Man, listen, Sai'vion, we appreciate you joining us here this morning, coming to the camp, teaching the young kids, because when they say, oh, that guy right there, he's on the LSU football team, man, all those eyes getting real big, because that's their dream, too. I don't care if you in 9th grade, 10th grade, your dream is maybe one day to be a college player. And so they see in maybe that career through your eyes.
Right.
And so that's awesome.
Yeah, just being here, I feel like just being here is good enough to motivate like every single person that here, but I'm here to like talk to them about like what it takes to be that. Like that's your goal, but I want to tell you like what's the thing you got to go through in order to get that goal.
No, you gotta want to play football.
Right.
Okay, tennis. Okay, you one-on-one. When you play golf, it's one-on-one.
Right.
Basketball today is a lot of one-on-one. You know, you played basketball. You were really good, really good high school basketball player. But football, ultimate team sport, and you got to want to play it.
Right.
It's not easy. The physicality of the game, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. And like with all the other sports, it's more of who's this individual that's gonna rise up. But with football, it's like who's this team that gonna rise up? Like who got the strongest brotherhood and who could last the longest?
Okay, were you trying to maybe convince Matt McMahon that you could go play some basketball for the Tigers or what? Things didn't work out too well last year for him, but I know you can hoop, man.
Yeah, I could hoop. I was, I think, second team All-State in high school. Man.
Sai'vion, thanks so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it, and thank you for coming to the camp.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.